So I'm going to make a little bit of a confession for myself out the gate. I only recently became a fan of the Halo series. I never had an Xbox growing up. I only played Halo 3 and Reach multiplayer at a friend's house, like throughout school. I played Halo 1 and Reach a few years back. They didn't pull me in. Played Halo 2 this year. That pulled me in.
It was low-key poggers.
So yeah, fan of the series now. I'm even going through some of the books because I enjoy the universe that much.
Who put the Halo novels here?
Just to let people know, like straight out the gate, those are my Halo credentials. That's my Halo CV if you want it. Because I think it's might be interesting for someone who maybe might be a long-time fan of the series to see some of what I'm going to talk about through like a new person to the series' eyes. Did I even phrase that right? Whatever. So earlier this year, we got the release of Halo Season 2 on Paramount Plus. And then it was promptly cancelled to joyous applause from most of the Halo fan base. Now, I haven't watched the series myself. I've looked up clips of it. Like, every time I do, I'm just like, that's not right. They've done something incorrectly here. I just look at this version of Master Chief like I'm Hank Hill, and I'm just like, that boy ain't right. We're at a point now where video game adaptations are getting better as time goes on. We've had the Fallout series released to critical acclaim, same with The Last of Us. Sonic is about to get his third movie. Who'd have guessed that? And then on the animation side of things, we've had stuff like Cyberpunk Edgerunners, Arcane. I think we've got a Tomb Raider animated series on the way as well. And given that Halo is a huge universe with a massive scope, and given how a lot of TV show and movie budgets have just ballooned out of control in recent years, I don't think Halo should be a live action series. Maybe there might be room for side stories in live action, like we've seen with Forward Unto Dawn and that one that was about Locke that I can't remember that people don't like. And like I said, I mentioned animation because I would specifically like to draw your attention to Halo Truth and Reconciliation. Not the Halo CE level, no, not that one. It's a short animation on YouTube by Motoginji Animations. It's only about 40 seconds long. I'll link it below and I'll maybe put in some screenshots of it here. I don't want to be reposting other people's content. It's a fun little animation sequence of Master Chief running through the ship, fighting the Covenant, and it's really fun. For 40 seconds, it's just real simple and it's got a lot of style to it. Now, Halo is one of the biggest gaming franchises in the world. We got Halo Infinite in 2021, Halo 5 was in 2015, and then there's stuff like Halo Wars 2 that released in, I think, 2017. So there's a 6-year gap between main series releases, right? So the earliest that we can expect the next game is probably going to be 2027. That's at a very early guess. It is definitely not going to release at that stage. Especially with multiplayer resources being pulled from 343 to support the Halo Infinite multiplayer. So here's my proposal that I want to make in this video. That I'm sure you've already guessed. Make a Halo animated series. Just do it. Do something with this universe. It's far too long to be waiting in between games. There have been smaller animation projects and live action series and fan films and TV ads and stuff like that are all pretty good. But there is so much lore to the Halo universe. You can just straight up adapt books into animated series. People will watch them because as much as people like the games, hey, they may not want to read the books. So what else can you do? Make a series about it. And since there's such a big gap between games nowadays, having an animated series or something that you can release regularly will keep Halo in the public perception even while the games aren't releasing. And if you can do a good animated series, hell, you may even be able to get new people on board onto the series. So obviously it would be cool to see stuff adapted into an animated series, but it also helps keep Halo in the public perception. It doesn't give the negative PR spin of, oh man, Halo Series 1 or Season 1 and 2, they're pretty crap, right? Master Cheeks, am I right? He's got a butt. He takes his helmet off immediately. $10 million per episode. I bet you could make an animated series for a lot cheaper than that. You could probably make an animated series on the budget of one of those episodes. Oh man, they put so much money into that series. Wow. I think the one thing Halo got really lucky with, even though this is kind of an odd relationship to have, is that they had Red versus Blue to kind of keep the Halo fanbase alive for a certain amount of years. Not that it was like telling canon stories to the Halo universe, but people were still tuning in to watch Red versus Blue. They were watching gameplay footage of Halo, but they did that for 10, 15, 20 years because Rooster Teeth shut down, rest in peace. But even seeing character likenesses and having that presence of the universe of Halo in people's minds helps to keep it alive somewhat. And I think in the years that 343 have been in control of Halo, the series as a whole has felt a bit disjointed. Halo 4 and 5 kind of some little bit of connectivity, but the negative reaction to Halo 5, they just pinball back to Halo Infinite, soft reboot the series, drop the whole art style they developed to try and make everyone happy. It all feels very disjointed, and while there are novels there to like connect some of the dots, and there's some very interesting stuff in that, an animated series could help them get out some of that story that they want to follow up on. They can set this connective tissue to connect Halo Infinite to whatever comes next, or try and connect up Halo 5 to Halo Infinite, or just tell a story more about some of their factions. Like 343 have done 3 games in the series now, and they haven't really built to anything because they keep getting negative backlash and then trying to reset and go back to the drawing board instead of maybe taking some different actions to try and build upon something. Or hell, you don't even need to build something within the games. Just make a game, make another ODST game, make something. You don't even have to follow the Master Chief. You can do anyone. There's so many Spartans there. And the series right now just feels a bit messy. And I'm saying that as someone who is newly into this series and has like looked up aspects of the series. Halo Infinite I thought was fun, but at the same time I'm a bit unsure of a sequel because I feel like 343 are just going to change direction again. And I think that you really need to just find a direction and stick to it. A lot of people have lost their faith in Halo as a series, and I think they need to take some kind of different action to both keep old fans happy and to get new fans on board. Trying to get people on board on game number 7 is going to be a difficult task to achieve, whereas if you have an animated series that you can say, here you go new people, this is from the beginning, here's the beginning of the Human Covenant War, here's the Master Chief, here's the story, like you can literally go from here and there's enough context there to jump in at game 7. I think that would do a lot for the series, and particularly for fans who've read those books, seeing some of that stuff adapted and maybe giving it to some really like good animators would really just help like get some of that spark back in Halo and just, you know, get some energy going on that, because right now it's just feels a little lifeless, and you can see that from the live action series that failed. 10 million an episode. Whoo boy.